Good morning, students. Today I'll be taking the prerequisite lectures for foundation of the cubic crystals, which is omitted in the syllabus right now because you have already covered in the 12th standard. But before we go to the difficult structures like diamond, NaCl and HCP, I would like to remind you certain parameters which are supposed to be done or recalled from the crystal background, crystal foundation topics. Just like cubic crystal and so cubic crystal we will be talking in detail today. So the cubic crystals are three type of crystals: simple cubic, body centered cubic and face centered cubic. In simple cubic you have the atoms which are present only at the corners. In body centered cubic the atoms are present at the corners and also one atom at the center of the cube. In face-centered cubic FCC, the atoms are present at corners and one atom is present at the center of each face. So therefore, you can see the difference here. Here only corner atoms are there. Here corner plus one body-centered, and here corner plus one face, six face-centered atoms are there. Now, simple cubic, body centered and face centered, again we will try to see that what is another difference between them. In simple cubic, each atom at the corner is shared by 8 unit cells. In body centered, each atom at the center is a part of only one unit cell, and here each atom at the face center will be shared by 2 unit cells. So therefore here we have only corner atoms. So you will have corner atoms which are each corner atom will be shared by 8 unit cells. Here you will have corner atom plus one atom at the center. So corner is already shared by 1/8 and the center one is shared by only one unit cell. Here you will have corner which is shared by 1/8 and plus the face center which is six face centers we are shared by 2 unit cells. You can look at the diagram, the simple cubic diagram. Here you can see the atoms are present only at the corners. The diagram looks or the whole crystal structure looks like this. Here you have the atoms at the corners plus one body centered. So the whole crystal structure gives you a view like this. And here you will have all the corner atoms plus all six faces, face centered atoms. So this is a highly packed structure and this is the way it will look. Now we will go one by one for each of the cubic cell. What are its basic parameters? The four basic parameters we'll be talking. That is average number of atoms per unit cell, small n, atomic radii to R. Then we will be talking about coordination number and also we'll be talking about APA. So first we go to the average number of atoms per unit cell. So it has corner atoms and each corner atom is divided into 1/8. So therefore it will be 8 corners are there and each one of them is divided by 1/8. So this will be total 1. So total number of average number of atom per unit cell is n is equal to 1. So you can see the diagram like this. Basically these atoms will be touching each other in like this. When you have a diagram, we show it a very small atom, but actually the atoms will be touching each other. So now next one we go to atomic radius, where it is you can see the whole crystal structure over here and just have a look at this. Two atoms are touching each other like this. So therefore this is the distance between the two atoms here is nothing but A. So A is equal to 2R, or rather 2R is equal to A and R is equal to nothing but A by 2. Next we go to coordination number for simple cubic. So coordination number is the number of nearest neighboring atom around any atom in the crystal lattice. For simple cubic coordination this number is 6. So can we have a look here? So if we take this into the consideration, this atom, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe we can take any corner. So you'll have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, 5 here and 6 here. So each corner atom will be surrounded by 6 nearest neighbors of its own kind, and so the coordination number is nothing but 6. Atomic packing factor, it's a ratio of the volume occupied by the atoms in a unit cell to the total volume the unit cell. So what is the formula? APF is given as number of atoms per unit cell. This will be small n. into volume of each unit cell, which is supposed to be a spherical. Okay, we know that spherical, the atom will be spherical, and divide by volume of the entire unit cell, because cell is A into A into A, so it is A cube. So n is equal to 1 into 4 by 3 pi r cube by A cube. But r can be written as per this, because we know 2r is equal to A, or r is equal to A by 2. So we will substitute here A by 2 whole cube divided by A cube. So this A cube and A cube will cancel. Whatever numbers we try to find out the division, we will get nothing but 0.52. So the packing efficiency will be this 0.52 into 100, 52%, and the void will be nothing but 100 minus 52% is 48%. You can see that these are very comparable numbers. That is, its occupancy is 52%, but its void is also quite large. That is 48%. Now we go to the next one, that is body centered cubic. Again, we will do the 4 parameters N, R, APF, and the coordination number. Okay. So here the total number of atoms per unit cell is corner atoms into its contribution, because it will have corner plus the body center into its contribution. So corner atoms are 8 into 1 by 8 plus 1 body centered into it's shared by only one unit cell. So you will get n is equal to nothing but 2. That is because this is 1 and this is 1, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Similarly, when you talk about atomic radius, now you have to pay attention over here. When we are finding atomic radius, let us take this diagonal. Okay, this diagonal. Here is one atom, here is one atom, and here is a half atom here, half. So this is 1r, 2r, and this is 2r already, so 4r. So this body diagonal is nothing but 4r. That is equal to a root 3. When we take another view of this three-dimensional view of this one, we can see that by Pythagoras theorem, I can say this body diagonal BD is equal to if I take it as Pythagoras, then this BD should be equal to a square plus FD square. Okay, so this is BD square is equal to a square plus FD square, but FD square is also because of this a square and a square. So FD square itself will be 2a square. So BD square is equal to a square plus 2a square, or BD, if you take out the under root of it, then it will be a root 3, but that is equal to nothing but 4r. So a root 3 is equal to 4r, or r is equal to a root 3 by 4. So therefore, this atomic radii r for BCC will be a root 3 by 4. Coordination number will be 8, because if you have this body diagonal over here, then all 8 which are surrounded by it, it will have its closest neighbor. So therefore the coordination number is 8. Atomic packing fraction, n into 4 by 3 pi r cube by a cube. But n is how much? 2. So 2 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. But what is r? A root 3 by 4 whole cube. So divide by a cube. A cube and a cube will get cancelled. All the numbers will give you 0.68. So packing efficiency will be nothing but 68%, and the void will be 32%. So now you can see that this BCC is more packed than the simple cubic, because its void has reduced from 48% to 32%. Similarly, we move on to the face-centered cubic. Here the number of atoms per unit cell will be number of the corner atoms into its contribution plus number of face-centered atoms, these ones, into its contribution to the whole unit cell. So the 8 into 1 by 8 plus there are 6 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 into 1 by 2, since each face is divided by 2 unit cells, so therefore you will get nothing but 1 plus 1, 3 is equal to 4. So total number of atoms per unit cell in a face-centered is 4. Atomic radii will be 4r is equal to a root 2. Just have a look at this. We will see the phase diagonal. So this is r plus 2r plus r. This is 4r. And a root 2, that is equal to a root 2, because if you take this Pythagoras, then a square plus a square will be this side. And if you take out the square root of it, then it will be a root 2. So therefore, 4r is equal to a root 2, or r is equal to a root 2 by 4. When we talk about coordination number, each corner atom is touched by 4 faces. So center atom in the xy plane will have 4 faces. In the yz also you will get 4, and in the zs also you will get 4. So therefore there are total 12 neighboring atoms, or coordination number is 12. Atomic packing fraction, n into 4 by 3 pi r cube. This is r cube divided by a cube. But what is n? N is equal to 4. 4 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. But r is what? R is a root 2 by 4 cube. A cube and a cube will cancel all the numbers. They will give you 0.74. And so therefore the packing efficiency is 74%. And when you take the void is only how much? 26%. So this seems to be the highest packed structure. So therefore, we will have the summation of all the summary of all the parameters for a three cubic structure. Right now, ignore this HCP. So simple cubic, BCC and FCC. Atom per unit cell for SC1, BCC2, FCC4. Atomic radius is A by 2, A root 3 by 4, A root 2 by 4. Nearest neighbor 2R, that is multiply this above into 2. So you'll get A. This is nothing but A root 3 by 2 and this is A root 2 by 2. Coordination number will be nothing but 6, 8 and 12. Atomic packing fraction we have derived 0.52, 0.68, 0.74. So packing efficiency, that is multiplying this into 100, 52%, 68%, 74%. Void space will be nothing but 48%, 32% and much less 26%. Similarly, the density will be calculated as per this, where the formula will be explained in the next lecture. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Today I'll be taking the module 1 crystal structure. Under that first lecture, that is introduction to crystallography. Now we know that there are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gases. We know that solids do not have a definite shape, they have a definite shape and size and volume also, but when it comes to liquid they will have definite volume but no shape size, and similarly when it is gases they will have only volume. But here in this crystallography we will be doting only on the solids, and these solids are classified into three type of categories, that is single crystal, polycrystalline and amorphous solids. How do they vary from each other? That is, they all are crystalline structures except this amorphous solid. But how do they, on the basis of crystallography, how do they differ from each other? Let's see that one by one. So the first one, we will talk about the single crystal. As the name says, this is one crystal. This will consist of these one crystal. Now, what is the speciality of this single crystal? That you will have a specific geometric periodic outline of the atoms arrangement, or you can say it's regular periodic pattern in three dimension in which the atoms are arranged. And this order, or this order of geometric style of atom periodic pattern will exist in the immediate neighborhood as well, and over the large distances. That means it will continue for the long distances, the periodicity among the atoms, which will correspond to several layers of atoms. So they possess both short range as well as long range order. Normally single crystals are characterized by long range order, but if there are some short range order, they will also be considered within the single crystals. Now, this point is a very important point, that why do we call single crystal as anisotropic substance? So just have a look at this diagram. When you look at this diagram, here you can see that this is one single crystal of some shape, some irregular shape. The atoms are arranged within it here in one particular style. That is this, if I take it as an x-axis, then all the atoms are oriented along the x-axis. Similarly, there could be another single crystal where all the atoms would be arranged in the y-axis. There similarly another one could be there, could have been there, where the atoms would have been aligned in the z-axis. So therefore, they are not isotropic because you're not taking a random of all of them. If they were arranged in a very haphazard manner or random manner, then I would have said that this is isotropic substance. But because you will have an average effect from x, y, z. But here it is not like this. Either it will be all the atoms will be oriented along x-axis, or they will be y-axis, or they will be z-axis. So they are anisotropic substances. And what are the examples? They are the quartz, alum and diamond. So these are the examples of the single crystal. So what are the three important points about the single crystal? First is that they are arranged in a highly geometric periodic style. Then second one, they have a long range order. third, they are anisotropic, and fourth are the examples are diamond, alum, and quartz. What are polycrystalline or solids? Now, when you say polycrystalline, poly means many. So they will have many single crystals within them. So can we look at the diagram over here? There is one single crystal, there is another single crystal, there is another single crystal. So polycrystalline solids are made up of many single crystals, such that each single crystal will have the orientation of the atom in one particular direction. So therefore, it is also said that it is consisting of fine grains. Now, these single crystals are also accepted in universally in the physics world as grains, because when they were looked from scanning electron microscopy, so they looked as if they are grains. So we call it them that polycrystalline are considered or they are containing of many grains. If there are many grains, then there is a specific definite grain boundary from each, separating them from each other. So therefore, they consist of fine grains such that the size of each grain is 10 raised to 3 to 10 raised to 4 Armstrong, such that they are separated by well-defined grain boundaries. What are they? Grain boundaries. Now, they are oriented in different direction. That is, each single crystal will be oriented in the different direction. Many single crystal will make it up polycrystalline solid. Each such grain is single crystal of an irregular shape, and these grains are randomly oriented. Hence, it is called as isotropic, because now you'll take an average effect of all of them. So therefore, it is not anisotropic, it is isotropic. The physical properties do not vary with the direction, because now you're taking an average effect. So total physical property will be a average effect of all the single crystals. Majority of natural solids will have polycrystalline. Metals are the example of polycrystalline solids. Now there is a feed for thought over here. One question which you have to answer me, and tomorrow you can give me the answer. Are single crystal which are anisotropic different in the physical properties as per their atom orientation? I once again repeat the question. Here, when the single crystals are taken where the atoms are arranged in a specific orientation, are they differ from the another single crystal where the atoms are oriented in different yeah, direction? Do their physical properties differ? So now we go to the third one, that is the amorphous solids. When we talk about amorphous solid, it is not at all having a periodic arrangement in a particular geometric style. That's what we expect. It's not like that. They will have a geometric style of periodicity, but it will be having only very short range ordering. It will not have a good long range ordering. That means if I have these two atoms, they may be at a distance of 3 Armstrong. Another one, it looks something like 5 Armstrong. Another it is something 6 Armstrong. Again back to 2 Armstrong. Again some 3 Armstrong, like that. So it's not having a good range of ordering of the periodicity. That is, they are geometrically yeah, periodically they are supposed to be there, but the order is range ordering is very less. They maintain a fixed volume and shape, though, because they are come under the solids. They resemble solids in their arrangement in the random fashion, but they are called as supercooled liquids. They are highly viscous, and example are glass, rubber, and many polymers. Physical properties do not depend on the direction of measurement, therefore they are isotropic substance. Again, here there will be random orientation, so they are in the isotropic category. One difference between the three I forgot to tell you, or the two, I would say. Single crystal will have a very sharp melting point because it has a very good periodicity and long range ordering, whereas in the amorphous solid, they will not exhibit a sharp melting point. These bonds will rupture faster than these will, they are closer, so they will rupture later. So what will happen? The temperature dependency will be different, and so therefore the melting points will vary. Now, so finally, how do you define the crystal structure? When you talk about the crystal structure, it can be summarized in a very concise manner like this. To form a crystal, you need first a lattice space and also the type of atoms which sit in that lattice space. So therefore, the total crystal structure is given as lattice plus basis. Now, let us understand what is a space lattice. Space lattice is a volume in which the lattice points are identical to each other from its own neighbor. That is, each lattice point will have the same environment of the neighbor which another one must be having. So the total volume in which these lattice points are put up is called as space lattice, and plus the basis will form the total crystal structure. What is a basis? Basis will be atom or a group of atoms associated with these lattice point. It can be atom, that is because it is, if it is a monoatomic crystal, समझो only if you take the single element crystal, that is sodium, then sodium will be sitting at each lattice point. But if it is a diatomic crystal, that is NaCl, and it's a molecular form, then NaCl, NaCl, NaCl. So what type of element is sitting over here? Monoatomic, diatomic, polyatomic, triatomic, whatever, plus in what space it is over there, the total will be called as crystal structure. So crystal structure is given as the space lattice plus atomic basis, which is given as total crystal structure. So atoms are arranged in such a way that their positions are exactly periodic. In general, it can be considered as a combination of space lattice and atomic basis, which form the total crystal structure. Now, this is something which you have already done it in 12th standard, and but I am going to give you as a remembrance, except this column where HCP is going to be taught in the first year in detail. Rest things you have done it, but some of you must have left it as an option for studies. So I'm again going to remind you what you have done in 12th. Of course, I'll take a separate lecture as a prerequisite for these parameters, which itself will be around 30 minutes to 40 minutes. So right now I'm summarizing it. So if you see this simple cubic, body-centered cubic and face-centered cubic, this you ignore right now. Then we will have all the parameter comparison among themselves. First, I will take the atom per unit cell for simple cubic is 1. For BCC, because there one corner, there are 8 corners and one corner atom is divided by 8 atoms, so 8 unit cells. So therefore, 8 into 1 by 8 will make it 1. Similarly, in BCC, you will have corner atom contribution 1, but 1 from body center, so it will become 2. Similarly, for FCC, there will be one corner atom contribution plus the 6 face-centered atoms contribution, which are divided by 2. So 3 plus 1 will make it 4. Similarly, atomic radius for simple cubic will be given as A by 2, because if we take a minimum distance between the two atoms, that will be A, and then where actually 2 atoms will sit, so 2R is equal to A, or R is equal to A by 2. Similarly, here the body diagonal will be A root 3, which will be equal to 4R. So R is equal to A root 3 by 4. And here face diagonal A root 2 by 2, because A root 2 is A root 2 by 4, because A root 2 is equal to 4R, or R is equal to A root 2 by 4. Nearest neighboring distance will be 2R, which is for simple cubic, it is A. For this will be A root 3 by 2. This will be A root 2 by 2. I will derive this in lengthy manner, in a very detailed manner in another lecture. Coordination number, you know that in simple cubic, each atom is surrounded by 6 nearest neighbors. Here, each atom is surrounded by 8 nearest neighbors. Similarly, here in FCC, by 12 neighbors. Atomic packing fraction is you have derived already, which is given as nothing but number of atom per unit cell into volume of each atom divided by total volume of the cubic. cell. So that comes out as 0.52 for simple cubic, 0.68 for BCC, 0.74 for FCC. When you multiply by 100, you'll get packing efficiency 52%, here 68%, and this is 74%. Now that means if you 100 minus 52 means 48% is a void, 100 minus 68 means 32% is a void, 100 minus 74 means this is 26% void. So this happens, FCC happens to be the highest packing among all the cubic structures. And density, which we'll be deriving soon, will be, right now you have to take it as it is on the face. So this will be the density one. How do you derive it? The derivations is going to be discussed in the next slide. Now this derivation we have never done in the 12th standard, that is calculation of lattice constant A, or I would say that relationship between A and rho, that is lattice constant A and the density. Consider a cubic lattice with A as each side. Now when you say A as each side means I am having cubic structure. So my length will be A, breadth will be A, my width will be A. So when you have all A, I can always say that a cubic lattice with A parameter. Let V be the volume of the unit cell and rho be the density of crystal. So V will become inherently A into A cube. So therefore, the mass of each unit cell will become very easy because it will be nothing but volume into density, but volume is A cube rho. So therefore, you keep it as equation 1. Now, if small n denotes the number of atoms per unit cell, then m denotes the molecular or atomic weight of the crystal. This small n is nothing but this one which we calculated in the previous slide. The small n for SC is 1, BCC 2, and FCC is 4. So this small n will be denoting the number of atoms per unit cell. Capital M denotes molecular or atomic weight of the crystal, and capital N denotes Avogadro's number. Then mass of each molecule, which we have done lot of calculation in 12th standard, is given as M by N. But this is each molecule. But in molecule, how many number of atoms are there? So mass of how many molecules per unit cell are there? So therefore, mass of one unit cell will be total number into M by N. Comparing these two equations, because these both are nothing but mass of unit cell. This is given in terms of A cube rho. This is given in terms of number. So A cube rho is equal to Nm by N, or A cube is equal to Nm by N rho. This rho is missing over here. You take this equation, or A is equal to cube root of Nm by N rho. I will stop the lecture over here today. Then I will take over next time.